SBC. At the meeting of the committee held on Tuesday, 17 September 2024, the SBC approved the schedule of statements by committee chairpersons pursuant to Standing Order number 56-1B. The first three standing committees that will be scheduled to issue their reports, Mr. Speaker, in the order paper on Tuesday, the 24th of September, are as follows. And I hope the chairpersons can take note, Mr. Speaker. Chairperson for Agriculture Committee, who I had seen in the House, we expect a report. Chairperson for Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations, Mr. Speaker, I know he's in the House. They'll be coming up on Tuesday. And the chairperson for Education. I have not seen the chairperson, but I know the vice chair. Oh, thank you. Sorry. Yeah, that's what I was saying, that I know the vice chair is here. Before concluding, Mr. Speaker, allow me to say something. Because ordinarily, Mr. Speaker, we don't speak a lot on issues that happen outside the precincts of this House. But when they are of a nature that appear to impede or interfere with our work here in the Senate, Mr. Speaker, then sometimes we are duty-bound to respond. Mr. Speaker, I have been made aware that on a TV show last night, that there's a gentleman who made very disparaging remarks against the person of the Senate Majority Leader. Mr. Speaker, ordinarily, I don't respond to these kind of matters because as a public servant, Mr. Speaker, I know people can say things about us that sometimes either are unfounded, and if you make it your business, then it might be the only thing that you do. But I am deeply troubled, Mr. Speaker, that on a live television show, people who are either cloud chasing, Mr. Speaker, or bait-clicking Kenyans, Mr. Speaker, can actually tarnish your name and speak untruths about you, things that I have absolutely no idea of, and go on, Mr. Speaker, to speak at length about the person of Aaron Cheruiyot. Mr. Speaker, for the record, I do not know Mr. Adani as alleged by that particular person. I have never met that individual.
What is your point of order, Senator Sifuna?
Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 52. I didn't mean to interrupt the Majority Leader, but I didn't intend to interrupt the Majority Leader, but the Standing Orders require that he should bring a personal statement under Standing Order 52 and explain these matters. To do it in this particular order, Honorable Speaker, I think is a violation of the House rules. There is nothing that stops him from bringing a personal statement and to explain himself the way that he was doing.
You know, he requested as well that there is a matter which happened last night that he wanted to speak about. So I was trying to reason what is it that he must say in this floor, but now interrupted before I reasoned to him to give guidance. I wanted to give guidance to him after I reasoned, because I was not privy. Honorable Senators, Honorable Senators, Honorable Senators, you cannot guide the chair on what to do. I don't have the advantage that I did not reason to that gentleman last night. So I was trying to get what he said about the Majority Leader. So let us get what he said.
Actually, what I'll do is that I'll bring a statement. But because I have been made aware of this matter just before walking into the House, and it's an important matter, I felt that I should speak about it. Surely, Senator Sifuna, if somebody was to make such allegations about you, don't you owe it to even your own colleagues just to clear the air? And that's all I wanted to do. Mr. Speaker, I wanted to put it on record that, number one, I don't work for KAA. Number two, I don't work for the Ministry of Transport. I don't know on what condition somebody can allege that I brokered a deal between Kenya and another foreign entity, whose owner, agents, I have never met, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have worked extremely hard in my public life to protect my image. Those who know me and have worked with me long enough can speak to my integrity as a person, Mr. Speaker. I don't do those kind of things. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, even as a country, as we call for new levels of accountability, Mr. Speaker, doesn't it behoove us that we behave better than those that we accuse of committing certain ills? You cannot fight corruption, Mr. Speaker, by character assassinating other citizens of your republic. That gentleman, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to put it straight to him that my lawyers will be reaching out to him. I have a name to protect, Mr. Speaker. It is in the interest of this House, Mr. Speaker, that they know that they are majority leader. That's why, Mr. Speaker, my colleagues who are here know that this matter has been on the floor of this House for quite a while. I have not spoken to a single person asking them to either consider that matter this or the other way, because I respect the business of this House, Mr. Speaker. Finally, Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, I also ask myself, what happened to our media stations? If you go to the editorial policy of the BBC, you will read, Mr. Speaker, that they delay even their live broadcast, Mr. Speaker, so that in case somebody was to either malign somebody or say information which they cannot prove at that particular time, Mr. Speaker, it is regulated and edited out. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, even as I seek for justice for my name, Mr. Speaker, the media house that was used as well to soil my name will equally have to give an account. Mr. Speaker, I will be bringing a statement to this House on Tuesday on a personal matter, but in the meantime, even before that particular Tuesday, my lawyers will be reaching out to those particular people.
Majority Leader. Majority Leader, you use standing order 58. 58, yeah, to bring your personal statement. And since that a personal statement is never debated, even what you are saying to me should not be debated. Therefore, I really request, I now request Majority Leader, under Senator Sifuna. Under Senator Sifuna. Senator Majority Leader. Oh, no, sorry. Minority Leader. Senator Mazayo, can you make the comment on the statement? And Honorable Senators, 2 minutes are enough to make a comment on the statement.
Speaker, asante Bwana Speaker. Bwana Speaker, kitu cha kwanza nataka kukemea vikali vile ambavyo Asante mstahiki Speaker. Mstahiki Speaker, jambo la kwanza nataka kusema ni kwamba ni kusikitisha zaidi, hususan ikiwa utatumia majina ambayo hakuna ushahidi ama hakuna taarifa yoyote yule mwingine aliweza kupewa. Kama ilikuwa inawezekana, pia yeye angewekwa katika TV wakawa wanajibishiana ili ikaonekana nani mkweli nani mrongo. Lakini kuchukua upande mmoja tu na kuweza kuweka katika taarifa na kuanza kushambulia upande mwingine si vizuri. Watu wengine, Bwana Speaker, na wengi wetu ambao tuko hapa ama wote ambao tuko hapa kama maseneta, ndugu yangu Kinywa ni mtu ametengeneza jina lake kule la kipya kwa miaka mingi mpaka sasa amekuwa seneta. Bwana Speaker, wewe mwenyewe pia kule Meru na wale ndugu zangu wote kule umetengeneza jina lako kamili. Kwa hiyo jina leo mtu akikutaja kwa njia ubaya itakuwa ni makosa bila wewe kupewa nafasi ya kujibu. Kwa hiyo mimi nafikiria naungana na ndugu yangu Cheriot kwamba msemo kama huo wa kuharibiana majina si haki, na onyo zaidi liende kwa wataarifa wanahabari. Mambo ya kuweza kuchukua upande mmoja na kuweza kulaumu upande mwingine pia si vizuri. Kwa upande wetu sisi tunakemea vikali na kwamba tusiweze kuchafuana majina, hususan wale wanaohusika katika kusambaza habari. Si jambo zuri katika taifa la Kenya leo kama mzee Chute anajulikana sana. Leo mzee Chute ajulikane kwa njia mbaya katika umri wake huu, itakuwa ni kumharibia maisha yake yote. Kwa hiyo kijana hivi sasa kama Cheriot
na Senator Tobiko uweze kutoa taarifa kidogo kwa ile
ndio naenda huko. Nilikuwa nataka
kwa hivyo naomba uende huko.
Nilikuwa nataka kusaidia. Ndio niko njiani, niko barabarani. Kwa hiyo Bwana Speaker, mimi barabara ndefu sana. Kwa hiyo mimi nataka kusema tu Bwana Spika, ya kwamba tunalaani vikali kitendo kama kile kilichotendea kwa ile taarifa ya habari. Nikirudi kwa upande ule mwingine, Bwana Spika, ni jambo la kusikitisha vile vile kuona ya kwamba katika Kenya hivi sasa kunakuwa na watu ambao wanavaa magwanda ya kujificha sura, alafu hatujui kama ni polisi ama ni majambazi. Sasa leo kama sisi, mtu akija kwako nyumbani haumjui ni nani, na ukitoka kwa gari unasikia watu wamekuvamia, wamekutoa. Tuliona hiyo wakati Charles Ketera akiwa ameshikwa. Alishikwa barabarani na alikuwa yeye ni mheshimiwa. Alfred Ketera mshikwa. Si jambo zuri kwa Mkenya ambaye yuko huru ndani ya Kenya kushikwa kiholela. Hususan nikija kwa upande ule wa dadangu sasa. Yeye watu wake 3 wameshikwa na Wakenya wameenda kotini. Familia yake wameenda kotini wakidai wapendwa wao waachiliwe na polisi. Mpaka hivi leo tunavyoongea, hao vijana 3 bado hawajaachiliwa na polisi. Bwana Spika, kama ingekuwa ni mtoto wako, ingekuwa ni mtoto wangu, angekuwa ni mtoto wa Chute, angekuwa ni mtoto wa Khalwale, saa hizi familia hizi hazina raha ndani ya nyumba kwa kupotelewa na wapendwa wao. Na jambo la kusikitisha zaidi, hususan watoto wa
huyu mkubwa, dakika moja tu amalize.
Wanashikwa kila uchao na wakishikwa watoto hawa hawapatikani, ama wakipatikana wanapatikana wamekufa, wala hawezi kuachiliwa. Tunataka jambo hili likome, na hususan upande wa polisi waweze kuangalia kwamba wakishika mtu waweze kumpeleka kotini, wamshtaki, ili tujue kama jamii yake itamwekea mawakili, itamwekea namna gani ili aweze kurudi nyumbani, ama hata akifungwa atakuwa anafungwa kisheria. Asante Bwana Spika.
Asante. Senator Chelgei Samson.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you. One, I always shudder in fear, especially when police allegedly abduct individuals, because I don't find any reason why the police should blur their numbers or wear unmarked or don't have registration numbers. So, Speaker, I've been a victim, and I said yesterday, on several occasions, especially on Kamata Friday. And I remember one instance, I was sleeping alone when I was arrested. It is by God's grace that chair, Mr. Speaker, they tracked me from Kibosi in Kisumu County all the way to my palatial home in Mosoriat in Nandi County, Mr. Speaker. And I was arrested alone. And that day, Mr. Speaker, after naked, I was also naked, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, and that is why we need to be very careful. As the former chair, Mr. Speaker, of Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights, we did investigate enforced disappearance and unregulated abductions, Mr. Speaker. I want to challenge the police. If you are going for Senator Sifuna, why don't you use official numbers, wear your uniform, identify yourself, Mr. Speaker, so that we can know. Even as we speak today, the MCA of Delaware Ward in Wajir County, Hussein Ahmed Yusuf, cannot be explained where he is. The people of Delaware Ward, even the family moved yesterday, Mr. Speaker, to court and demand that the Inspector General of Police produces the MCA Hussein Ahmed from Delaware Ward in Wajir County, Mr. Speaker. And we don't want the police to perpetuate a tribal attacking some particular communities in this country, Mr. Speaker. Because when you go to, I was appalled when I went to Kwale. I went into a meeting and met women, thousands of women without their husbands, Mr. Speaker, who police allegedly have abducted them in the guise of terrorism, Mr. Speaker. We must be honest as a country. Let us fight.
Next is Senator Manzo Daniel.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on issue of forced disappearance, before President Ruto became president, he said no more people will be found dead in the River Yala. We have now found people dead in Kware, and the worst thing which can happen, Mr. Speaker, to any family or to anybody who is a Kenyan, is that you disappear, your family makes an application for habeas corpus it goes to the court, and then the court is not given the body, whether dead or alive, then that, Mr. Speaker, becomes the end of that story for that family. It means then the family will never know where their kin are, and that is in the department of the executive, particularly the police, Mr. Speaker. I really want to urge the Acting Inspector General, Mr. Speaker, because he is aware. If he really wants to get away with this, because now he's been convicted by the court, then he should produce the bodies or produce the persons alive, and then we will purge the contempt and everything will go well. The moment you are contemptuous before a judge, you can only go back to that judge. And the only way to purge the contempt is to comply with the court order. So I'm really pleading with the acting IG, who I know is a Christian, even if he has been forced by other forces, to make sure these children are delivered, either dead or alive. It is an absurdity for the current government if these children are never going to be seen forever. And we have more disappearances coming up and more disappearances. Mr. Speaker, it is illegal, it's unconstitutional, and it is putting the government of Kenya locally and internationally in a very bad corner in terms of human rights. And Mr. Speaker, we have a very good constitution as a country, which if we adhere to, all Kenyans will be happy, no families will suffer because their dear ones have disappeared.
Senator John Kinyua.
Asante Bwana Spika kunipa fursa hii. Kwanza kabisa Bwana Spika, kulingana na ripoti ambayo imeletwa na Senator Tobiko kuhusu watu kutekwa nyara, Bwana Spika, nataka kumwambia kwamba sasa kwa sababu mkuu wa polisi ameteuliwa rasmi, Douglas Kanja, anapaswa atokee kimasomaso aweze kupambana na haya mambo, Bwana Spika, na aweze kuyakomesha, kwa sababu Bwana Spika, kuna sheria zinapaswa kufuatwa. Kama mtu ametenda kosa, ashikwe, apelekwe kotini, aweze kuhukumiwa, Bwana Spika. Hakuna kosa ambalo haliwezi kupewa adhabu yake, Bwana Spika. Kwa hivyo hamna haja yoyote ya mtu yoyote, Bwana Spika. Tunapoongea hapa, Bwana Spika, mwakilishi wa wodi ya Dera, Bwana Spika, hajulikani aliko, Bwana Spika. Kwa hivyo kwa sababu sasa tuko na askari mkuu ambaye ameteuliwa kirasmi, ana majukumu ambayo, Bwana Spika, anapaswa kuwa awe akiangalia. Si hiyo tu, Bwana Spika, ripoti ambayo taarifa iliyoletwa na Senator Kanyuri, watu kuuawa kiholela, Bwana Spika. Na ni vizuri, Bwana Spika, watu wawe, kwa sababu kazi kuu ya serikali, Bwana Spika, ni kulinda mali na maisha ya wananchi, Bwana Spika. Itakuwa ni jambo la kuvunja moyo sana, Bwana Spika, ikiwa watu wanauliwa kiholela, familia zao zinaendelea kusononeka na hapati jawabu, Bwana Spika, ya yale mambo ambayo wanayouliza, Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika, vile vile taarifa iliyoletwa na seneta wa kutoka Uasin Gishu kuhusu KCC, Bwana Spika, wakulima wanaendelea kusononeka kuuliza watapata malipo yao lini, Bwana Spika, ilhali wanaendelea kupeleka maziwa yao katika KCC. Ukitembelea Nyahururu, Bwana Spika, KCC kila wakati asubuhi na mapema watu wameleta maziwa yao, lakini wakati wa kupata malipo yao, Bwana Spika, inakuwa ni mchongoma, Bwana Spika. Lakini
keep your eyes on the lights kindly to avoid the embarrassment. Senator Beatrice Akinyi-Ogola.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to really condemn the defilement case that has been brought by my senior sister, Senator Catherine Muma. That is in Kigoto village of a young girl who was 13 years then, Honorable Speaker. Homa Bay County is fighting the triple threat led by His Excellency Governor Gladys Wanga and all the women leaders. But it's unfortunate that we have very pathetic numbers, Honorable Speaker. As I stand here, Honorable Speaker, in 2023, we had over 8,000 young adolescents between 10 years and 19 years that were presented as pregnant, Honorable Speaker. I support this statement, and I call for justice for the young girl and the young family. Honorable Speaker, I also want to condemn the abductions and the disappearances that have been brought forward by nominated Senator Perez Tobiko. It points to us that we have a system that is so fearful of its citizens, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, why should we have people disappearing in this country and they cannot be traced? What is so appealing in these cases, Honorable Speaker? As my colleagues have said, the government was so firm about disappearances that we had in the other years, but it's unfortunate that the scene only changed from a river in Yala to other points like the quarry that we had.
Senator Sigei Wakiri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to commend and also condemn the position that has been played out in the statement by Senator Tobiko as well as Senator Catherine Muma. The two statements, Mr. Speaker, are seeking the intervention of the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, particularly with regard to the disappearance and also the defilement of the young girl, respectively. I, Mr. Speaker, as chairperson of Justice and Legal Affairs, commit to support and undertake appropriate investigations to make sure that the House is also given sufficient information so that appropriate actions ultimately be taken to ensure that justice is served both to the girl and to the family of the gentleman who disappeared. Mr. Speaker, I support the two statements. Thank you.
Senator Sifuna Edwin.
Honorable Speaker, we all heard President Ruto during the campaigns tell the country that under his administration, abductions and disappearances of persons and extrajudicial killings would be a thing of the past. We continue to hear him say that his is a government that observes the rule of law. Honorable Speaker, as we speak today, the acting Inspector General of Police has been convicted and is subject to a 6-month jail term just because he's been instructed by his superiors not to honor court summons to appear to explain the disappearance of Bob Njagi, somebody that I know personally, Jamil Langton and Aslam Langton. Honorable Speaker, there is nobody who can be happy to live in a country such as this. And you can see from both sides of the House, no one can support these happenings in our country. Just across the border in Dar es Salaam, the police plucked somebody, an opposition leader from the Chadema party, from a moving bus in the full glare of the public. And the guy in hours turned up dead, Honorable Speaker, and his face has been disfigured by acid. We cannot be spoken to in the same terms as countries like Tanzania. Even this young MCA from Wajir was plucked from the streets of Nairobi. So, Honorable Chair, we would want that we all as leaders take a very strong position and ask William Ruto. We will not ask you about the other promises you break. Even if you don't build us the roads and the stadiums you promised us, please stop killing us. Stop abducting people and bodies showing up in quarries. At the end of the day, Mr. Speaker, it is the responsibility of government to protect life and limb, and every disappearance must be explained by none other than William Ruto. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Number 105 on statement of fact. And for my good friend Senator Sifuna to understand it, because it's clear he doesn't understand the standing orders. 105.1, a senator shall be responsible for the accuracy of any facts that the senator alleges to be true and may be required to substantiate any such facts instantly. You have heard Senator Sifuna allege that William Ruto, the President of Kenya, Mr. Speaker, is killing Kenyans. Can he substantiate that claim, Mr. Speaker? Failure to which he withdraws, apologizes, Mr. Speaker, and that statement be expunged from the records of this House, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Sifuna, you have been accused that your statement is bordering on some allegations.
Honorable Speaker, it's like the majority leader met me yesterday. I will stand by the truth without fear. It is the responsibility of government to protect the life of Kenyans. It is public knowledge that these people are being abducted by police officers. It is his government. So he cannot run away from the responsibility. Who are we supposed to ask? Samia Suluhu. He is the person responsible for the protection of the lives of Kenyans, and he is the one we will ask. I will not be intimidated on this group.
Senator Sifuna, the issue is, you mentioned that...
Let him read back what I said. I said his government is responsible for the killing of Kenyans. Yes. So you can refer back to the Hansard.
Okay.
I know what I said. I know what I said. You cannot
Now,
speak for me.
Because you
cannot
have
speak for
rules
me.
in this house.
Yeah. Go back to the Hansard.
I will request for the answer
Correct.
during the next sitting. Because... What? On the members. When there is a dispute, when there is, that answer can be produced. Listen, honorable senators, Senator Sifuna, what I'm saying is, before the end of this sitting, that answer should be produced before me. Next is Senator Roba. Okay. Senator Nyonka. Senator Sifuna, now you risk.
Thank you.
Kindly restrain yourself from making.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like my colleagues to sometimes go and listen to American political analysts, what they talk about Joe Biden. They used to call him Crooked Joe. They call Trump an abuser, a rapist. Sometimes we just need to be honest with ourselves. Mr. Speaker, I want to say something to my colleagues in this House. And I'm not pontificating, it's just my reality. I feel, because of the issues that I've been raising, I could be abducted. And I am not anti-government. What I am saying is that our country deserves better. We can run this country. President William Ruto can continue to govern this country, and he can even win the coming elections if he did the basic things that Kenyans want. Please, let us not kill our young people. It is only in Latin America when drug dealers and warlords organize for certain individuals who disagree with them to assassinate or abduct people, to violate women's rights. I am begging my colleagues, in fact, I am begging the President of the Republic of Kenya, President William Ruto, the history of this country will never forgive you if these abductions continue. If individuals have extrajudicial killings where they are murdered because they have a different political opinion or where they are questioning government policy and decisions, let us not think this is the reason why the young men went to the streets. They felt that we were not doing our job. Our job is to tell them.
Senator Omar Sheikh Mariam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, in the Constitution of Kenya, there is a right to life. And life starts on conception. Mr. Speaker, if we continue like this, abducting, extrajudicial, extra killing, Mr. Speaker, there is no democracy in Kenya. Mr. Speaker, how can we explain to the new family of MCA of Wajir? How can we explain to a kid who is now 2 years old? Mr. Speaker, we need justice in every part of the Kenya. Mr. Speaker, if Kenya goes like this, what's the difference between Kenya and Somali? Where do we live? And Kenya is home. Mr. Speaker, we need a safe place to take care of our kids, to take care of our properties. Mr. Speaker, let's follow the rule of law. If somebody is, human being is to error. If somebody is to error, there is rule of law, there is court. Take the person to the court, convict, Mr. Speaker. But 6 days, 7 days, where is the MCA? How can we explain to the parents? How can we explain to the, his mother, who is old mama? She cannot understand this system.
Senator Abbas, Sheikh.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to join my colleagues also. And I want to thank all the members for standing with the people of Wajir.
Forgetting Senator Sifuna? I just gave you and gave Onyonka.
Honorable Speaker, as it has been said already, I want to join. Honorable Speaker, please protect me. I'm losing my time.
Honorable members, the MCA from Wajir comes from Wajir County. And that
Honorable
is
Speaker,
why
for the first thing, I want to join the family of Honorable Hussein, Yusuf Hussein Mohammed, the MCO of Dela, who has been missing for the last 7 days. I want to share with their sufferings, their fears, and the absence of their loved ones. It's actually very painful to miss your most loved person without any communication or anything. Honorable Speaker, it's very unfortunate. This country is going back to the days of in the 90s and where we came from. We thought we have moved forward. Last time the president has promised us that there will be no extrajudicial killings, no abductions, no nothing. But now we are seeing a very funny thing going on now. Honorable, when the IG is not responding to the courts when it's been summoned, that's impunity of the highest order. And that's why they're able to take people anyhow they want. They want to do what they want to do. There are so many people who are missing Kenyans today. Kenyans still have the right to live. Every life is actually sanctioned. It is a right. People must be produced to court. People must be listened. What the law says, I'm not a lawyer, but it says that everybody is innocent unless proven guilty.
Senator Mwaruma Jones Mwashushi.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to support the statement by Senator Kavindu on 100% transition to secondary and tertiary institutions. Mr. Speaker, it is desirous that all the children achieve education, and Kenya, Mr. Speaker, is a signatory to Article 26 of the 1948 Declaration on Human Rights and the right to education. However, Mr. Speaker, this has been impeded by very many reasons. And Mr. Speaker, for as long as the funding of secondary education and tertiary education is dependent on CDF, then we are not likely to meet the 100% transition. Mr. Speaker, the CDF has been given in a discriminatory manner. And for as long as that CDF is patronized by MPs, and if you don't vote an MP, Mr. Speaker, then you don't get the bursaries, then we're not going to achieve 100% transition, and most of these children are going to fall by the wayside. Mr. Speaker, right now we have junior secondary, and junior secondary is not financed through CDF. There are very many children that are falling by the wayside because JSS is being charged, or fees are being charged, and we don't have CDF really funding JSS. So we need to look for a modality of financing even JSS, because we lose very many children at JSS level. Mr. Speaker, the new funding model that is not very clear, that is financing higher education. We have people who have been put at very high bands, and they'll also not be able to achieve university and tertiary education. And what
Senator Alexander Mondigi.
Asante Bwana Spika, naunga mkono taarifa ambaye imeletwe na Senator Mandango ya kuhusu wakulima mambo ya maziwa. Nataka kuunga mkono wale watu wataenda kuchunguza waangalie vizuri, kwa sababu wakulima aswa watu wa Embu County, sub county Runyenje na Manyata wanalima mambo ya maziwa, inaleta shinda. Unakuta wamefanya kazi ngumu, lakini mambo ya malipo imeleta shinda. Pia nikiunga mkono, tunakumbuka wakulima wale wafanyikazi walikuwa wanafanya kazi kwa hiyo kampuni ya maziwa kutoka zamani miaka 30 hawajalipwa, na sasa tunasikia new KCC sasa inataka kuleta mambo ingine ya kupeleka hiyo kampuni kwa watu. Ningeomba wale wataenda kufanya uchunguzi waangalie vizuri, ndio wakulima waweze kufaidika, kwa sababu wameumia sana. Nikimalizia, nataka niambie seneta wa Nairobi, tukiwa hapa maseneta, ni afadhali tuwe na heshima kwa serikali, kwa sababu tuko kwa serikali ya muungano, na kama seneta mzima hawezi kuheshimu rais wa Kenya, nataka kuambia seneta wa Nairobi, rais sio William Ruto, anaitwa Rais Samuel William Ruto, sio kumtanja jina tu, lakini sasa kuja kutuambia majina mpaka mwesimu. Kesho utakuwa mtu mwingine. Jana tulisikia utambui hata wale watu wengine. Utambui hata kama ni secretary. Ni aibu kubwa sana. Kwa hiyo Senator wa Nairobi, rafiki wangu, mpaka uwe ukiheshimu wale watu wengine, kwa sababu wakati mwingine wewe ndio utakuwa pale juu. Kama hauna heshima, utaheshimiwa na nani? Ndugu yangu, sauli yako. Kwa hivyo mheshimu. Next time tunakutafutia kiti kubwa ukunje kwa serikali ya muungano. Asante Bwana Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Senators, the statement hour is past gone. Honorable Senators, as you may recall, at the morning sitting of the Senate held yesterday, Wednesday, 18th September 2024, I directed Senator Peris Tobiko MP to substantiate utterances made in the course of a contribution on a supplementary question to the Cabinet Secretary for Roads and Transportation. The direction arose out of a point of order by the Senator for Senegishu County, Senator Transaction Mandago MP, pursuant to Standing Order 1052. Standing Order 105 provides that 1, a senator shall be responsible for the accuracy of any facts that the senator alleges to be true and may be required to substantiate any such facts instantly. And 2, if a senator has sufficient reason to convince the speaker that the senator is unable to substantiate the allegations instantly, the speaker shall require that such senator substantiates the allegations not later than the next sitting day, failure to which the senator shall be deemed to be disorderly within the meaning of Standing Order 121, which is disorderly conduct. Unless the senator withdraws the allegations and gives us a suitable apology if the speaker so requires. So, honorable senators, in the point of order by Senator Jackson Mandago MP, Senator Peris Tobiko MP was required to substantiate the claim that a rogue, and I quote, a rogue public servant has gone on record publicly to say that this road will never be constructed as long as the current member of parliament, MP for Kajiado South, Honorable Parashina, is the MP. These utterances were made by the State House Controller, end of quotes. Honorable Senators, Senator Peris Tobiko was not able to substantiate our statements as required pursuant to Standing Order 1051, and subsequently requested the Speaker to provide the evidence at the next sitting day in accordance with Standing Order 1052. Having acceded to the request, I directed that the Senator substantiates the allegations at the next sitting day. Pursuant to Standing Order 1052, I now invite Senator Perez Tobiko, MP, to forthwith substantiate the claims as raised in the point of order by Senator Jackson Mandago, MP, failure to which the senator shall be deemed to be disorderly within the meaning of Standing Order 121. In the absence of such substantiation, the senator will be required to withdraw the statements and apologize to the Senate. I thank you. Senator Tobiko, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would also have loved that you informed the House that I'm the one who has come to remind you that I had evidence to table. And I was very eager to do that, Mr. Speaker. And so I didn't want it to be forgotten.
Tobiko, you're out of order.
No.
I understand exactly at 4:1 you are to do the statement. You're out of order, Senator Mazayo. What is it? Why are you making noise? Let Senator Tobiko be handed in silence. Absolute silence.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, because I was eager to table, and hereby, Mr. Speaker, I'm now ready to table. The same, I have a video.
Proceed and table.
Yes.
Next order. So, Senator Tobiko, your evidence will be reviewed to see, to ascertain whether it meets the threshold of an evidence. So that will not be done right away, because this is a video, I can see, this is your evidence, it's here. So you don't have the gadgets to do it now. Next order. Can you call to the next order, kindly? Honorable Senators, Honorable Senators, Senator Mundigi, Minority Leader, Senator Mundigi, Minority Leader, Honor.